Happy June 17th, and welcome to Coffee Chat, where we discuss all things dogs. I'm Laura Pakis. I'm the owner and founder of Acme Canine and a host of Coffee Chat. Well, Father's Day is coming up this Sunday, so I thought I would start off the show with a Father's Day joke. So, this is a dog dad joke, so get ready. What excuse did the dog give his teacher? I ate my homework. Wah, wah. So anyway, Father's Day is a time to celebrate all dads, dog dads included, and there's nobody better for your pup parent than the dog dad in your life. So I thought we'd talk a little bit about a few activities that you could do on Father's Day with your dog and your dog dad. And this is courtesy of the Animal Wellness magazine. So I'm going to read them. Take your dog on a road trip to like an ice cream store or maybe a hardware store. And many, you want to check ahead of time, but many hardware stores will allow your dog to go in there on leash. Not only would your dog enjoy the cruising with your dad, but also getting smells and maybe even getting a pup cone might be kind of fun too for the day. Another one, hit the hiking trails. There's nothing better for a dog to stimulate them than new smells and sounds and sights and feels and textures for them. They'll come home exhausted and just so content, which brings the next one. Take a well-deserved nap. Now, if you sprawl out on the couch, my guess is your pup's going to be right there next to him. So that's a good one too. Go for a swim. There's quite a few dog-friendly beaches and lakes, and even a lot of dog parks now have lakes and ponds that dogs can swim in. The thing is, if your dog is afraid of water, it's probably not going to be the activity you want to choose, but it's an easy way to get a dog interested in the water by just throwing a stick or water and encouraging them just to put their feet in the water. Dogs don't like when they can't see what they're walking on, so it's kind of a leap of faith to be swimming. But once they get started, and if there's other dogs around swimming, they're just going to jump right in and have a great time. So that would be a fun one. If you're not going to go anyplace, play a game of fetch with your dog. Nothing is better at building a relationship than an interaction between you and your dog that is fun. So play fetch. Another one is to toss a Frisbee. Some dogs don't like catching Frisbees. They're hard, so they have a variety of rubber ones and all kinds of different types, to get your dog started on them. And who knows, maybe they'll end up being a part of the disc dog team. An interesting one, which I hadn't thought of, is go geocaching. And this is a new thing, and I know a lot of the parks have it, but it sounds like kind of fun. I mean, you're investigating things, your dog is there enjoying and investigating the surroundings, and you might even find some things, but it's a great way to interact with your dog, and yet it'll keep you very active too. So a good idea. And last, why not build something? You could build a fence, you could build a dog house, and July is going to be Repair Your Dog House month, so it might be a good idea. I like to use place when I'm working in the yard, and if I have a mulch bag, I put my dog place on the bag so I know where she's at, or I let her wander and smell things. My old dog Woofy loved gardening so much. I don't know, good or bad, taught him to pull the weeds out, and he thought that was the greatest thing, so he would just pull everything out of the ground, and it got to be a little bit too much, so had to control him on that one. So knowing when you're trying something, sometimes the dog may be more enthusiastic than you want him to be, so you might have to fix that. To all the dog dads out there, I wish you a most wonderful Father's Day and enjoy your dog. Happy Father's Day. Next week is Take Your Pet to Work Week, and I believe Friday is Take Your Dog to Work Week, so you can bring pets and things. It all depends on your workplace and what they allow. But with this, I started to think about socialization, because I don't believe you should take any dog that isn't socialized to a workplace, since it's such a big environment and so different than what they're used to. So I thought, okay, I am going to define what socialization is. So I decided, well, I'll look up on the American Veterinary Association, and I'm going to read this to you. According to the American Veterinary Medical Association, socialization is the process of preparing a dog to enjoy interactions and be comfortable with other animals, people, places, and activities. I think this is so important because most people, when they hear socialization, they think, oh, I have to take my dog, it has to have play dates, it's got to interact with other dogs. That is a very minor part of socialization. With puppies, you have to be careful because they're not totally vaccinated. So you want to socialize them in a safe environment. And a lot of this can be done at home. When you think of socialization, I believe socialization is exposing your dog to as many different sights, sounds, smells, touches. It's just immersing that dog into its environment and making it comfortable. It may be you can work at home and put aluminum foil on the ground and encourage your puppy to walk across that, or rattle bags. And the big thing is, whenever you introduce a situation, and you want it in a controlled environment at first, you want to make it as comfortable for the puppy as possible, or the dog. Dogs are different because you can use commands to help work with them. Puppies, you're using more treats and food. Break it up. You want to take your time introducing it. So say, you want your puppy to meet dogs. Well, find a friend's dog that is comfortable with puppies, one that doesn't care if the puppy runs on them or pulls at an ear or whatever. You don't want to introduce your puppy to a grumpy dog because dogs learn from experience. And the more negative experiences, the harder the dog's going to be. It's going to be fearful, it might be aggressive, because it just is basing its reaction on what has happened in the past. More positive experiences, you're going to have a wonderful dog, self-confident, happy, and maybe even want to meet other dogs and friends. Introductions, we have a list on Acme Canine, so if you're interested, you can write me at dogs@acmecanine.com and I can send you the socialization list to work on. But you're meeting different people, different clothing, different ages. You're meeting animals, farm animals, other, maybe wildlife, just a variety of things, toads, and you're helping your dog adjust to that situation, whether it be a rabbit running by fast, or a squirrel going up a tree, or runners, or bikers, or skateboarders, that the noises that they make, cars going by. You're teaching your dog how to handle that situation in a self-controlled manner. Not only is it important to socialize your dog, but it's very important to make sure that you have broken it down so that it's comfortable for the dog to take in. The cool thing about dogs is you introduce something in a positive way 3 times, that third time, that dog is going to be so much better than the first time it was ever exposed to something, if you've exposed it correctly. Socialization is so important that I'm going to read this. This is again the American Veterinary Medical Association. Dogs who have had more social contacts or attended puppy classes before 12 weeks of age were less likely to develop fearful or aggressive behavior. That's very important to know. And they're even saying that this is much more important to do than isolating your dog because you're fearful of them getting parvo or something else. So if you can control the environment, you want to do this social contact. Conversely, puppies and dogs who lacked early non-fearful exposure to a range of environment, people, animals may be afraid and avoid these situations and react accordingly, fearfully or aggressively. Wow, so that's pretty powerful stuff. So it's important to socialize. So let's talk a little bit about the different ways to socialize. We talked about doing it in a controlled manner, and depending on your dog and the amount of socialization they've had in the past. So here we have, you can go from the extreme of a dog that didn't have much socialization to a dog that had a lot of socialization. So if the dog has not had much socialization and is fearful or aggressive, use a muzzle. It's going to be safer for the dog, and it's going to be safer for those around your dog too. And it'll break up that pattern of being aggressive towards something. But most dogs aren't that it's not that drastic. So, but I do recommend breaking up the situation and using a leash. A leash is going to be your tool to control your dog. It can encourage your dog to get closer. You hold a leash as it's getting closer, so now the dog can't retreat, and that helps the dog understand that this isn't something to fear. Another thing is how you react. Now, if you're going, oh, I'm not sure if this is good or not, your dog is picking up on your emotions. You need to be neutral and unemotional when you're helping your dog learn to overcome a fear or become more comfortable in an environment that they're not used to. So how do we do it? Well, one way I do is teach the say hi command. Now, say hi, many of you have learned it and some of you haven't, but it's a command that's used for support dogs. It tells them that they're allowed to break their working environment and go greet a person. I take it a step further. It means trust me enough that this isn't going to hurt you. So you start off with say hi by having your dog in a sit, pointing from their nose to the object or person, and you kind of make a sweeping movement, say hi, and encourage them to go check it out. The person on the other end's encouraging them, gives them a treat. We got a good experience, right? Do this repetitively. Then we start doing say hi to objects. I mean, you can do, some dogs are afraid of fire hydrants or cones or, who knows what. Say hi is a great way to get them to do it. And I don't mind using treats at that point, because if the dog likes to eat treats, that's fine. A dog that doesn't, lots and lots of praise, and they'll enjoy it just the same. So say hi is one thing. Teach sit. I believe a sit should be a quiet, no moving, butt on the ground command. That means the dog has to focus on being in that. If you allow the dog to pop up, it's not a sit, because that dog has the choice, say it's afraid of something, or it's making the choice not to stay in that position. So we have a good solid sit. And we use that to help your dog focus on the command rather than their fear. Then we introduce the fear. And you always introduce fears in a gradual way. Starting far away, get a little closer, praising the dog, and you're just focusing on that sit. No sit, no sit. And the dog will hold it. Good sit, good sit. When you start seeing your dog, you're not going to do like something that the dog's petrified of and bring it real close within minutes. You're going to take your time and just slowly and gradually develop this. I usually say about every session should be about 5 to 10 minutes, ending on something positive. So we got the dog in a sit, we're introducing it, the dog's okay, it's a little licking its lips, you're seeing some body behavior saying it's not handling it well. Put the person in a stationary position, put whatever it is in a stationary position, release the dog, love on it, let it run around, do something, go back to the same thing, maybe an hour or two afterwards. So you can probably get in about 4 or 5 training sessions in a day if you're serious about it, but that'll really wear your dog out. So I would tend to do it maybe once or twice and then just work on it. Every time it's going to get better. Like I said, 3 times the dog's going to be almost ready to take on whatever that fear is, which is pretty cool. Heel is another good one. So say the object is stationary and you're not. So you put the dog in a heel. If a heel, as I define it, is a dog that is an extension of my leg. No sniffing, no pooping, no moving anywhere else except following where I'm going as fast as I go, going as slow as I go, whatever. It's a heel. Then with that one, you would have the object at a distance. You would heel where I would use like a left hand heel. You can use a right hand. So you always want to put your body between the dog and what it's fearful of. So the dog would You heel one way, and then you would serpentine and heel the dog between the object. Then you heel with yourself as you start making yourself closer and closer to what the object is. Excuse me. Put the dog in, when it's in a heel, do automatic sit. When you stop, try a say hi. Encourage the dog to say hi to the object. My favorite story is when I was training, we had a dog at Christmas time, and our neighbor had one of those blow-up Christmas decorations. Every time you take the dog out the door, it's like, freaking out. So we did that, the heel, back and forth, said hi. Pretty soon the dog didn't care. Every walk, it didn't even mind going past the Christmas ornament. So it doesn't take long, but it does take thought and being aware of the environment, your dog's feelings, your dog's body language, and also ending positively so that you're not setting it up for another fearful event the next time. With puppies, it's a little different. With puppies, they tend to be more food oriented, so treats are a very easy way to do this. And say puppy's afraid of the vacuum going. Well, you're not going to throw treats and just run the vacuum. You have to work on this. So you would set the vacuum out, put treats kind of like birds, like you would encourage a bird to follow a trail up to the vacuum, and just keep encouraging the puppy. Oh, go puppy, would you go look at you? Just baby talk it, get it up to it finally eating off of the vacuum. Stop. Next day, you've had a positive. Next day, bring out the vacuum again. Do it. The dog will be eating off the vacuum. So now you're going to do something different. Now you're going to put the treats around the vacuum and move the vacuum back and forth. You're still holding your puppy on leash so they can't retreat. And look at that. And the puppy's eating, and just kind of, control that vacuum so that you're not, running it over the puppy's feet, or you're moving too fast, that the puppy starts feeling comfortable with the vacuum moving. Okay, positive, put it away. Next day, bring out the vacuum. You might need 2 people. So you would have one person turning the vacuum on and off while the other person's encouraging the puppy to eat around the vacuum so that the puppy's not retreating. Puppy's not retreating, and next day, okay? So now we have, 3 or 4 days going. Now we have the vacuum turning on and off. We've had it go back and forth. So now someone has the treats on the ground and someone else is vacuuming back and forth with the vacuum totally on. So if that makes sense, you're working and working towards this thing. What's interesting, for a dog, it's totally different. A dog that is afraid or wants to attack a vacuum, you would put the dog in a sit. You would control the sit and turn the vacuum on and off and just keep working that way. Finally, you're vacuuming with the dog in a sit next to you. The dog's quiet, not barking. It's totally different. So depending on maturity, there's different ways of handling, socializing and desensitizing a dog to something. Speaking of treats, Acme Canine's been testing Dig Direct's Bolo Bites. Now they come in different flavors. There's peanut butter and berry, pumpkin, and sweet potato. And the cool thing about it, they're all natural, organic treats, and I have not met a dog that has not found it delicious. You'll immediately recognize, as you read the label, everything you can find on your grocery shelf. It's nothing like, this preservative or that. 100% natural and only human grade, so you can eat them yourself if you wanted to. They also have chia seed in it, which is to boost nutrition and fiber for healthy digestion. The health benefits of chia seed means more calcium per ounce than milk, more antioxidants than blueberries, and 8 times more omega-3 fatty acids than wild salmon. Pretty delicious, so they're a good supplement to your dog's diet. We made a short video because we wanted to know which treat Penny liked. Penny can eat pretty much anything, so it's not a matter of does she like the food, but what flavor did she like? So here's a short little clip on so you can see which one Penny liked. Okay. That's it. It was amazing because I thought most dogs would have liked peanut butter and jelly, but Penny liked pumpkin. I also wanted to give some tips because, in preparation for Take Your Dog to Work Day, how to help socialize your dog. We talked about controlling the environment and that a puppy learns by experience and keeping those experiences positive. We talked a little bit about body language and how you need to be aware when your dog is a little bit fearful or angry or anxious, and don't wait till they get super excited or anxious. And don't wait till they get super excited or anxious. You want to step in ahead of time to help them and reward them for when they're able to handle a situation, even though they may be a little bit cautious. We talked also about keeping the sessions short and positive. 5 to 10 minutes is often enough, and you really don't want to go more than 30 minutes. I mean, that's going to wear a puppy out. It'll wear a dog out even. So, keep them short. They're going to learn more sessions than more short sessions than long ones are going to be a good idea. And we talked a little bit about how you need to remain relaxed and neutral. Avoid coddling and reprimanding. Just because a dog can't do something doesn't mean you should get angry. Dramatic changes in your behavior will maybe encourage fear or elicit a stimuli in the dog, and you don't want to have that happening. Let's get back to Take Your Dog to Work Day, and I want to read some things this is from the Take Your Dog to Work from the Pet Sitters website. And these are very good points. These are to help you have for you and your dog, a successful visit. So dogs don't get second chances, just like you don't when you're making a first impression. So when you think about that, you want your dog clean and groomed. You don't want long nails or scratchy nails or stinky breath or smelly bodies, because people are going to respond to that. You also want to make sure that your dog their shots are up to date. That's just one of those little things in the back of your mind. You want to make sure. And you have to know your dog. Is your dog aggressive? Why bring them? Or overly shy? This is just going to overwhelm them. Why put them through that kind of situation? But if your dog likes meeting people and new environments, perfect. Think about, okay, where am I going to put my dog? Do I need to have a placemat so they can lay on it while I'm working? Water, food, what do I need? Where am I going to take them to go to the bathroom? So, you're thinking through a lot of this stuff. So is your dog the right fit for this workplace? You want to make sure your dog is comfortable. So kind of scope out the office. This is, again, where we talk about where they're going to go to the bathroom, water, what's your workplace like, your work setting, and placemat. What are you going to bring to make the dog comfortable? Do they want toy or a chew bone? Those kind of things. You want to puppy-proof your work spot. If your dog likes to chew sticks, don't leave pencils on your desk. And also look at your desk. You don't want correction fluid out or permanent markers. Those are things that are toxic to dogs, so just kind of put them away or out of sight. Also, you want to avoid forcing other people, like, I have my dog, come see it. No. People that like pets will come to you and love on your dog. And obedience training and how you feel comfortable. You can give a say hi and have your dog greet the person, or you could just let the person love on it. It's up to you, but know that you have that control too. And the last thing that they suggest is that you want an exit strategy. I don't care how socialized your dog is, how friendly your dog is. When in a new environment and meeting new people, they're going to get exhausted. So what's your exit strategy? Your dog is starting to show signs of stress, not interested in being there. Can you leave work and bring them home, or do something so that you can remove the dog from the environment, not force them to be there the whole day? It'll make a happy day for both of you that way. Well, that's about it for the show. I hope you enjoyed our chat and also learned a little bit of something. Remember, if you have a dog topic or question and you'd like to know something more about it, just drop me a message at dogs@acmecanine.com and I'll be sure to add it to the next show. I'll see you in 2 weeks on Coffee Chat. All the best.